Hi, and welcome to this video on aerobic exercise and exercise testing. I am Dave Barkley. I'm one of the kinesiologists here at the Cardiovascular Prevention and Rehab program at South Lake Health. So today in this video, we're going to describe what happens to your body while you're exercising, essentially how you build fitness, how much exercise you should be doing to do that, what stress tests show and why we do it here and our uses for it, and then how to take metabolic equivalence, which is a measure of fitness that I'll discuss, and apply it to everyday activities as well. So let's get started. Just to start, we'd like to discuss what are the benefits of aerobic exercise. So what is the purpose of doing regular exercise, and what should you feel from it? The first thing is it's been shown to help you feel better and increase your energy level all throughout the day. Sometimes we can think, oh, if I exercise a lot, I'm going to be tired. But in reality, it actually improves your energy and you have more energy for other things. Things that you do all throughout the day around the house become easier as you build fitness and your body is able to handle more. We're hopefully going to be, you would notice your heart getting stronger and more efficient. So essentially, each time it pumps, it's able to pump more blood. So that's why you hear people's heart rate getting a bit lower as they get improved fitness, and things do become easier. It's been shown to improve blood pressure, so improve your body's ability to keep a healthier blood pressure, improve blood sugar control as well, and it works similar to how insulin works. That when you're exercising, your muscle cells are triggered to pull sugar out of the blood to help with, and because of that, it would help with managing blood sugar too. We also feel good after a workout. Our body actually releases endorphins, which are kind of feel good hormones that energize you, and with that, a lot of people find it to be generally a really good stress reliever if you're dealing with stress to use exercise for that. So lots of great benefits, and that's why it's such an important and big part of a program like ours, and an important part of overall health as well. So what happens when we exercise? What's going on in our bodies? The first thing really is your heart rate goes up. So your heart's beating faster to pump more blood down to the or over to the muscles that are doing the work, because those muscles need more oxygen and more energy. So heart rate goes up. With that, your systolic blood pressure, so the top number on the blood pressure reading, generally goes higher as well. And that's because more blood is being pumped through the blood vessels. Your heart's pumping more, so that's the pressure when your heart's contracting. So that does go up. The bottom number, the diastolic, usually it doesn't change or goes down a little bit. So that responds differently. Increasing in breathing rate, so breathing more often and breathing deeper as well as your demand for oxygen is increasing. Increase in body temperature and blood flow, because of course more blood's now flowing through the body, and as we're moving, there's friction, or as we're burning energy, our body creates heat as well, which usually results in starting to sweat. And then a decrease in blood sugar over the course of a workout, again because your muscles are pulling sugar out of your blood to use for energy. And then how do you improve your cardiovascular fitness? So of course with exercise, but how much, how hard do you have to work, with types of exercise? And that's what this is showing. It's called the FIT principle, F-I-T-T, and it's really just a way to organize or display a exercise prescription. So the F stands for frequency. So how often should you exercise to really improve your fitness? You can say like once a week, once a month. It's really not enough. You want to aim for like 5 days a week, maybe even 6 if you're up for it. So you want really consistent exercise. The I stands for intensity. So how hard should you be working, which is very important. Here in our program, as if you are in a program, you know, we do give you a target heart rate based on your stress test and your current level of fitness. So you have a range to target for. So that would be your intensity prescription. But you can also go by what we call RPE, or rate of perceived exertion, which is really how the exercise feels. And we look at it on a scale from 1 to 10, and we aim for anywhere from a 4 to a 6. And what that means is the exercise while you're doing it should feel moderate to somewhat hard. See, it is a bit of a challenge, but you feel comfortable and you can keep it up. If you find it's feeling hard to very hard, likely you can't really sustain that for very long, and you want to ease off or slow down. On the other side, if it feels very easy, you're probably not working quite hard enough, and you want to at least be a moderate intensity. The first T stands for time, so how long you should be working out on each of those workouts, and we really aim hopefully to get to a minimum of half an hour, with even working up to potentially 45 minutes to an hour as well. And we don't really go beyond an hour because the amount of health benefit really goes down going longer than an hour, and it's just a lot of extra wear and tear on the body. But we aim for at least 30 minutes up to an hour, and you don't need to start there. If you're not really doing exercise now, start at 5 minutes is fine. 5-10 minutes, whatever you feel comfortable with, and then slowly build up over time to do at least 30 minutes. So there's no rush to get there, but it can be a lot more of a long-term goal. And then the second T is for type. So what type of exercise is considered cardiovascular or aerobic exercise? And really anything that's continuous and using large muscle groups. So we use walking a lot. If somebody's fitness level is high enough, they may need to start jogging to get up to the intensity that we're looking for. Also cycling, swimming, like aquafit classes, other machines like ellipticals potentially, rowing machines. There's lots of different options out there, and it is good to have some variety and not necessarily rely only on one type. If you have access to other things, you can change it up. There's lots of options out there. And then physical activity versus exercise. This is a very common thing that we discuss and questions that we get on this topic. Is essentially if you're very physically active, so you're up and moving through the day, maybe you have a somewhat physical job, you're doing things around the house, do you really have to exercise? Like, doesn't that work count? And the reality is not really. It is important to understand there is a difference between the two, but one doesn't replace the other. So if you are very physically active, that's great, but you do still want to add in the exercise. And the reason for that is with exercise, you're getting your heart rate up, you're keeping it there for a continuous period of time, and then relaxing. So it's different than, say, you're doing things around the house, when usually your heart rate gets up a bit and then back down and then up a bit and back down. You're not getting that continuous effort that's really going to help build cardiovascular fitness. On the other way though, if you're exercising, that's fantastic. But if the rest of the time you're very sedentary, that's not the best case scenario either. And really the best is if you're getting your 5 workouts a week and the rest of the day you are up and moving and physically active. That's really going to be the best case scenario. But there is definitely a difference between the two, and one does not replace the other. And then, does fitness really matter? So with all this talk of doing 5 workouts a week and types of exercise and all the benefits, does it really matter that much? And this is a chart. It's taken from a study in 2003 and looked at a group of people and essentially broke them down by fitness level and looked at, after a period of time, how many people had died essentially in each group. So it's looking at the relative risk of death based on fitness level. As you can see, there's 5 different bars in the chart, with number 1 being the least fit group, and then going up all the way up to the most fit group. And it's broken down by MET level, or METs, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Essentially, the group 1 is mainly people who don't really exercise or not exercise at all. The most fit, greater than 13 METs, is very, very fit, and then everything in between. So as you can see, as fitness level improved in these groups, the relative risk of death compared to the most fit decreased as well. And maybe the most interesting isn't like looking at the least fit compared to the most fit, but you can see from the least fit group, just getting your fitness level up a bit. So just starting to get some regular exercise, increasing your fitness level, maybe get up into that second group, you cut your relative risk in half almost. So significant improvement in just that little bit of fitness increase. So it's not like you have to be running marathons and get extremely fit. Just get some regular exercise in and get consistent with it, and you can reduce your risk quite a bit. So how do we determine fitness? So in a study like we just discussed and what I mentioned we do in our program, it's really with doing a stress test. And there's different types, but here in our program and usually in hospitals, they do it on a treadmill. It starts off on an easier level and gets continuously harder over a period of time, and we see how long you're able to last. So what is the most intense amount of exercise that you were able to handle on the test? And with that, we can determine your level of fitness. We also look at breathing data. So here we could do what's called CPET, or cardiopulmonary exercise testing. So we're looking at how much oxygen is your body actually able to get in and use while you're exercising. So that's the way we really measure cardiovascular fitness, is what's the most amount of oxygen you can get in. And as you build fitness and you're able to do more and work at higher intensities, that's usually because your body's able to get more oxygen in, because your heart's stronger, your muscles are getting more efficient as well, and it all leads up to that. And then what else does it show? So we'll have you hooked up to an ECG, so we do see how your heart rhythm is responding, and is everything looking good as you go from the start of the test all the way to the end? Is there any areas that are of concern? Maybe at a certain level, there's some type of issue that we want to avoid. We know then that, okay, we're going to have you exercise, but below that level of intensity. Just make sure everything is good and there's no concerns. We look at your blood pressure response to exercise and make sure it's responding normal as expected. And I mentioned with the breathing data, how much oxygen you're able to get in, and also if there's any potential breathing issues as well. And then a big part of it too is how you feel while you're exercising. Are you comfortable? You feel okay at certain levels of intensity? You're comfortable with the walking and the movements as well. So a lot of information, there is a lot of information we get from these tests and why they're so valuable to us. And then I mentioned we take your fitness level based on how much oxygen you're able to take in, and that's what we do a calculation with that number to get your MET level. So it stands for metabolic equivalence, and it's essentially the amount of effort needed to do physical activities. And on the stress test, it's the most amount of effort you were able to put out. So it's an indicator of your aerobic fitness or cardiovascular fitness. In our program, we check it at the beginning with the stress test, and then again at the end, and you can see how it has improved over the course of the program. If you did want to know what your MET level is, you'd have to do a stress test. For those of you in our program, you can ask your kinesiologist, and we can let you know what it was at the start of the program, and we'll let you know again what it is at the end. And then to apply it to everyday life, in our education workbook, for those of you in our program, it is on, I believe, page 23. Or if you look at the table of contents, there's a MET levels chart. And if you know what your max MET level was on the stress test, and we can also tell you what is kind of a good exercise level in terms of METs, you can look at that chart, and it has a number of different exercises, also different activities or tasks you might do around the house. And it can be a bit of a guide for you in terms of what might be appropriate. If you're looking to try something new, or you're not sure if you're able to do certain tasks, you can look at this chart and gauge whether it might be a good idea. If it's below your MET level, it might be okay. If it's well above, it's probably something that you should try to build your fitness up and give yourself a bit more time before you try that. It's not a perfect science because, as you know, we can do things at different speeds and different levels. You can really take your time with something. So if it's something that's borderline, maybe you give it a try, but just go nice and easy and make sure you're feeling good, and then judge based on that. But it's another one of the benefits of a stress test, and knowing what your fitness level is, we can apply it to things with this chart. So that's it for the topic. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did have any questions, if you are attending the program, you can discuss it with your kinesiologist, or feel free to send an email. So our program's email is cardiacrehab@southlake.ca, and you can reach out there. But again, I'm Dave Barkley, one of the kinesiologists here at the Southlake Health cardiovascular prevention and rehab program. Hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.